You gotta love that sound. So I get a lot of questions and I'm going to answer some of those on today's video. For instance, how much inventory will it take to make consistent sales on eBay? Or paper or plastic? Craft paper for packing or bubble wrap? My name's Dave. This is Retired with Purpose. If you're new here, welcome. If not, welcome back. But we're going to take a look at this reselling thing about keeping it fun, even when you're just supplementing your Social Security with it. But stick around to the end. One of my viewers made a comment that actually had me laughing out loud. I think you're going to really enjoy that. So let's get jumping in with the first question. And I do have these listed and I'm going to read those, then we're going to address them. So first up, one that's called Hip Chick Vintage Thrifts. Hip Chick wrote, I've been a reseller for decades, but now on SSI, it's my only other income, and it gets harder all the time to find good inventory, as so many are doing this for themselves or the thrifts are so expensive. I look at yard sales and church sales a lot, which is a really good idea. It really is an enjoyable hobby looking for the treasures. It's the rest of it that feels like work, laughing out loud. I've recently started a YouTube channel and have 9 subscribers. Again, LOL. Have to start somewhere, but boy, do we have a learning curve at our age. So this is a big one, guys. She is right on track. She knows reselling. She knows that she can make some money reselling things and through an eBay store. But she went ahead and took another step. And that step is starting a YouTube channel. Highly, guys, highly recommend that you start a YouTube channel. You have to do it properly. And I'm going to ask Hip Chick to reach out and I'll see if I can help her get started on her channel. But a YouTube channel can really, not joking guys, really snowball into several different side incomes. Very smart move on her part. She may not even know it yet, but I think we can probably get her monetized and be well on her way to a nice, dependable side income. So next one up is Miriam. It's Miriam Davis asked, how large of an inventory do you need to average 3 sales a day? So when I answered Miriam, I said there's no easy answer for this question. And you guys know this if you watch my videos. This completely, guys, completely depends on the STR, which means sell-through rate of your inventory. If you have a ridiculously large inventory, 1,000 items, but they're all horrible sell-through rate, you're just lucky to pick up a sale now and then. On the other hand, if you have items in your inventory that have a really good sell-through rate, and a good example, and I used that for her, was the Texas TI-84 Plus calculator. If you can find those, and they're out there, I've sold many of them, it's an automatic sale. They sell for usually around $45 or in that range. I actually have watchers, followers on my eBay account because I've listed them before that follow me. So as soon as I list it, the moment I list it, it's sold. So if you're listing high sell-through rate items like this Texas Instruments, I can list them all day and I'm going to sell them basically all day. So 3 sales a day is not a problem with high sell-through rate items. Now, people ask, well, where do you get those? You have to create what's called a BOLO list, the things to be on the lookout for. And your list will get bigger and bigger and bigger the more that you do this. So when I go out sourcing, that's what they call it when you're out here doing your treasure hunting, I know because I've been doing eBay since 1999, I know what I'm looking for. So it's very quick for me to go through a store and can tell quickly, normally, something that has a good sell through rate and something that doesn't. So, and sometimes you'll leave things. You know that my goal is 10 times my money. That's just my goal. You can set whatever goal you want. I passed one up today, actually, that was 4 times my money. It was a good sell through rate, and I just have enough things to list that I didn't want to take that on. But anyway, how many items or how large of an inventory, guys, totally dependent on the sell through rate of your inventory. Now, I understand when you get started on eBay, everyone out there says start listing what you have around the house. That's true. Do that. Start to minimize getting rid of the things that you want to be rid of. But understand when you list those things, go ahead and check the sell through rate. And when you check that and you see that it has a low sell through rate, don't be looking for quick sales. It's not going to happen. But if you have some things around the house that have a good sell through rate, they're going to sell. So anyway, I hope that answers everyone's questions on that. And we've talked about sell-through rate on some of my other videos, and they're easy to find. My playlist, it says everything eBay. Go there, you'll find them. Okay, so here's another one. This has been brought up before. A viewer sent a comment that says, I just figured something out. When you list, now he's talking about when you list on eBay, I just figured something out. Go ahead and take your pictures, package the item up, calculate the minimum shipping, tack on a couple extra dollars, put it on the shelf with a serial number, and then when it sells, just drop it off to be shipped. Well, again, I've been doing this for a long time. Invariably, this is the problem with that system. If I take something, I don't care what it is. It could be a coffee mug. It could be a pair of boots. Doesn't matter. And I do that. I go ahead and I package it up. I get everything all set. I know the measurements. I know exactly what it weighs. I know all that. And I set it up on my shelf. Invariably, without a doubt, what will happen if you do that, a buyer's going to contact you. And that buyer's going to say, I see a little mark on the lower left corner of that coffee mug. What is that? You have no choice. You have to go open up that package that you spent time packaging and look at that blemish that they see, maybe take pictures and send it to them. Or somebody says, what kind of sole is on that boot that you're selling? Same thing. If you didn't document that by chance, you have to open it up, go search, and you find out that it's a Vibram sole or whatever. The point is, if you do that, you will be opening packages and sending information out to buyers. Now, when you package, I don't care if you do it when you list or you do it when you sell. It makes no difference. Packaging it takes the same amount of time. If I have 2 minutes in packaging it when I list it, I'm also going to have just 2 minutes in packaging it when I sell it. There is no difference. So I don't do it that way. And again, I've got videos showing you how I do it. So I would not package it before. So here's another one that came up, and it's come up before. I started using craft paper for a lot of my packaging. And I picked this up off of another reseller quite a while back, that bubble wrap gets expensive. And I keep bubble wrap. I've got it in stock right now. But for most items, I mean 90% of the items that I sell, I can use craft paper. Well, a roll of craft paper lasts a lot longer, much, much, much longer than a roll of the bubble wrap. So it's much cheaper for me to buy a roll of craft paper, and I just mount it to the wall in my basement, pull off however much I need and take my razor knife and cut it. Very easy, but it's nice and it's clean and it looks good. In fact, on some items, when you just need a covering, you can actually use the craft paper as a wrapping to wrap some things. For instance, like boots that I just mentioned a moment ago, you wrap the whole box with your craft paper. So craft paper is much cheaper to use than the bubble wrap. Upfront cost, you might buy bubble wrap, for instance, $10 to $15, where you're going to pay $30, for instance, on the craft paper, but the craft paper lasts 10 times as long. So it's a much better deal, in my opinion. So another thing he asked on his comment, if I felt that it's a cheesy look to pack with old newspaper. Absolutely, I do. Today's resellers try to pick up their level of professionalism. And that even means the kind of packing materials that you use. That's why I like to use clean craft paper or bubble wrap. But it's also the reason that I put a printed card in my box thanking them for the sale. Just bring up the professionalism. So anyway, hope that answers that question. Now this one actually, this one cracked me up because I can actually see this one happening. This was Self-Help Reseller. He says, "Hi Dave, I just found your channel and love your content. As a fellow retiree with a purpose, I've been thriving with my eBay reselling business." He had $4,500 in net profits in October. There's guys out there very successful in this. There are, and you just need to be aware that you can do it too. But anyway, $4,500 in net profits in October. He just found my channel. He said, "When I heard the eBay cha-ching at the start of the video, I jumped into the classic Pavlovian dog style and almost grabbed my phone to see what I just sold." Now, that's funny because I can see that happening. I look forward to watching more of your videos. That cha-ching is an exciting thing to hear. When you're consistently making sales, when it goes off, and I don't care what you're doing, you're watching TV or you're eating supper, you go grab your phone and look real quick just to see what you sold. So guys, if you like this kind of information, like and subscribe to the channel. I'm putting these all in a playlist about the comments that I get and the answers for those. So you may want to check out that playlist. I'll see you guys on my next video.